For your patience, this is the statement. This one is from the Ghana Electrical Contractors Association. It's dated the 13th of May 2024. Dear Sir, petition for review of policies on rechargeable jobs. Access to electricity is key to the socio-economic development of every country. Ghana's ranking on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index as of 2019 was 118 out of 190 countries. Ghana's performance was as a result of several factors, including challenges in access to electricity connection. In the past few years, access to electricity has become very expensive, especially for premises that require a dedicated transformer installation. We have found the reason to be as a result of the following policies being implemented by your good office. 1. High cost of capital contributions required from customers. 2. Demand for 10,000 Ghana cedis unrefundable upfront payment for service applicants. 3. Not allowing customers to purchase materials from suppliers of their choice. Increase material prices beyond market prices. It is important to state that the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, also provides similar services to customers at a far lower rate and affords them the opportunity to procure their own materials. There is no doubt that these policies have proven to be inimical to ECG's own drive to increase revenue and government's industrialization agenda. As a matter of urgency, we call on you to suspend the policy and call an emergency stakeholder engagement to find ways to address the issue. This, we are confident, will ease the burden on prospective investors and help improve your bottom line and reduce the teething unemployment in the country. And this is signed by Mr. Awal Sakib Mohammed, President of GECA.
And it's copied to the Minister of Energy, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Executive Secretary of the Energy Commission, the Executive Director of the PURC, Executive Secretary, Energy Commission, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Energy and Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade and Industry. Quite a tall list there of interested parties. Awal, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Now, you are complaining about, one, the customers being required to contribute so that they can get power in their homes or their offices or wherever it is. First, tell us how widespread is this problem?
Okay, thank you very much and good morning to our listeners. So today, if you apply for, there are different categories of premises.
Right.
Premises that for the share of your load, the share size of your load, you may require what we call a dedicated transformer.
Right.
Or if you have a premises that require a very good power quality, you may require your own transformer. So such premises, if you apply with ECG for such service, ECG will now come to the premises to assess it. And even before they embark on that journey to visit your premises, they charge you a 10,000 cedis non-refundable.
What?
Now, yes.
To do what?
To come and assess the premises and establish whether you need this size of transformer or that size of transformer.
Can we call it assessment fee?
Assessment fee. No.
Or viewing fee? You know, the agents who give off what do you call it? Their places for accommodation.
That's right.
Rent
right.
agents, right?
Yeah.
They call it walking fee, viewing fee.
That's right.
That's what ECG is doing.
Yeah,
viewing fee.
So in
10,000.
In their cost build-up, they capture it as preliminaries. So mostly it's even more than that. So then if you agree or if you are ready to pay, then you pay less the 10,000 cedis. We find that to be worrying because you see, when they have come to do all the assessment, and in some cases they won't allow you to even buy the materials. They will bill you and let you pay for everything. We think that in a normal environment, ECG should be the one providing you that service. They provide you with the network and bill you, and then you use it and pay. But customers have taken, granted that ECG does not have the capacity, and so customers have taken upon themselves to invest in that regard. Now, when they've done all the assessment, there are some components that we find to be worrying. That is some of the components that is making the total cost
expensive.
very expensive. One of them is what they call 3.5 of the total material cost, which they call it preliminaries. There's another cost of 15%, which they call company charges.
Right.
It's supposed to be capital contribution of the customer to ECG, and there's also another 10% of what they call the contingency. If truly you've charged me 10,000 cedis and visited my premises and did a due diligence, why should you charge me so much for contingency? Contingency is basically say that unforeseen circumstances.
But this one you are sure. So
sure.
you took money from me to come and ascertain whether my premises is fit for purpose, and then you have come to do the work, and then you are charging me extra for Jara.
Actually, even develop drawing. You use it when you develop the kind of services ECG, the contingencies are not much because they are physical. I mean, transformer is transformer,
Right.
an RMU is an RMU. You know how much oil the RMU will require. If it is a trench, you've taken the distances and all that. Then, so why do you charge 10%? And if you look at some of their cost builder, some of the contingency goes as high as 50,000 plus. It depends on the cost of the material. So this your premises today. If God forbid, if your transformer develops fault, and you are to replace the transformer, you will be forced to pay this amount of money. Because you here, reasonably, you use around 500 kVA transformer. And that 500 kVA transformer in open market is about $12,500. And then you need another equipment to protect the transformer, which is an RMU, which goes for about $11,000. So these are the key components you need. Now the other items come in, like the cabling, the other accessories and all that. When you have finished purchasing all this, for a standard 500 kVA transformer, the total cost, including VAT, that ECG will require you to pay amounts to around 131,000 cedis.
Correct.
Yes. And so there are instances where people have started projects, they didn't expect to pay this much. They are hit with this, and then they have to just abandon the project and leave. People have had to suspend. Imagine someone who has gone for loan, put up a factory that he was going to produce to be able to pay the loan. He gets to the power acquisition stage and is hit with this huge sum of money, unplanned most of the time. Because today, if you want to know how much it will cost you to even pay for a particular size of transformer, you don't know. Even ECG engineers, you need to give them the detail for them to feed it into some system and all that.
So you end up doing the work.
You end up doing the work only to be hit at the final stage. You'll be hit with certain an unexpected amount of money, and then it throws all your budgeting off gear. So it goes to say that when people say that it's expensive to do business in Ghana, it's expensive to buy buildings and all that. These are some of the costs. A real estate company, they provide for the distribution network. They buy transformers and everything. When they finish, how do they recoup their investment? You have to add it.
Right. So in the consumer is the one who suffers.
Yes. And one worrying even situation is for real estate companies, for instance, having spent all the money on the investment and provided all the distribution at the next moment, ECG will now connect customers at no cost to. They don't even mind them.
There's an ECG document, right, addressed to the manager of Val Harmonia residence at Laboni, and then we got this document from Awal. So first, put it up there, Helen. Run us through what that document says.
Certainly. And this is from the Electricity Company of Ghana. It's to the manager, Laboni Accra. The address is there. Quotation: installation of a dedicated 500 kV, and there's some other specifications, GMT substation for Val Harmonia residents at Laboni, Makola district. Now we refer to your application on the above subject matter and wish to inform you that the request has been approved for implementation. You are therefore required to pay an amount of 138,793 cedis 60 pesos as your capital contribution, made up of, then the breakdown is as follows: 113,044 cedis 52 pesos as deposit for materials. You're paying 17,974 cedis 8 pesos for VAT, and then you have 2,826 cedis 11 pesos for, help me, gentlemen, please, NIH. Okay, it's not too clear here, but 2,826 cedis 11 pesos for Get Fund. You have in the cost build up 992 cedis 33 pesos for cost of excess power loss, and then 1,130 cedis 45 pesos for COVID-19 levy. You have already made an upfront payment of 10,000 Ghana cedis, we know as the viewing fee. Hence, you'll be required to pay the difference of 128,793 cedis, 60 pesos. This amount should be paid in the name of ECG at EcoBank. The account is there, and submit the receipt of payment to the undersigned for further action. Please note that the quotation of 128,793 cedis, 60 pesos is valid for 14 calendar days from the date of this letter. Signed, yours faithfully, Bismarck Otu, General Manager, CC, Regional Engineer, Regional Accounts Manager, and Regional Commercial Manager, Makola District.
I see. And this is dated what? In May 2024, right?
I have your February.
Yeah.
5th February.
5th February 2024.
Indeed.
There's another letter. So this is to somebody at Laboni who applied. Awal.
Yeah.
And he has to cough out all this amount before anything at all can happen.
Yeah, this is after the client having bought all the equipment, all the materials that is required.
Right.
This is how much he needs to pay to ECG.
120 something.
And the most
thousand.
interesting, this is an apartment. If he's selling them, you can imagine, he
would have to add it on to.
Yeah.
But you raised a question about Netco, and you say Netco provides similar services at a way cheaper rate. How cheap is the definition of cheap
No,
in
you
this
see,
sense?
the truth is that this space needs to be regulated. You can't have an industry where there's no standard rates, especially for such kind of services. So we think that if PURC comes in, how is it that Netco provides similar services? They allow people to buy their own materials. They allow the people pay way less, way cheaper than ECG, what ECG charge. It means that there's no regulation. So we think that PURC needs to step in, right, and come up with mechanisms that regulate all these players for them to be able to charge fairly. It is very, very important that we look at this.
I wanted to find out if Netco also have this sort of viewing fee as well, and if they have it pegged at 10,000 Ghana cedis.
They don't.
Okay.
Even ECG until 3 years ago, they didn't have. They didn't have that.
Okay, Helen. There's another letter from the ECG. It's with their logo colored. It's a colored version of what you read, and it's also addressed to another client, right? Who has also been hit with their own, their own bill as it is now. But you raise a question about reforming this. Whose job will it be?
For us, it's obviously PURC. I am aware that PURC is not even in the know that ECG charges such amount of money.
What?
I've had a discussion one time, unofficial with the boss of PURC. And PURC is not in the know.
So how is ECG charging what PURC has not approved?
They are doing it at their whim. They are doing it at their whim. Seriously.
You have cried out to them. Have they heard you?
No, the truth is that we are at the point where we think that the only entity or institution that ECG respects is the president.